Bob Wanamaker with Thinking Strong Man, here today to talk about one question. What would you do? And that question arises from last week's topic, talking about finding positives in the face of injury and being able to move forward and still pursue our goals, whether it be strictly rehab or pursuing training while we're injured. So even though I'm certainly advocating finding positives in the face of injury and finding opportunities in what is a traditionally negative situation, there's a risk-reward assessment that has to take place. What would you do? So, let's create a scenario. I'm 8 weeks out from a local StrongMan comp. I've been training for 10 weeks specifically for this comp. So, I've put together a give or take a 20-week cycle leading up to competition day. I'm 10 weeks in. I've completed my accumulation block. I'm partway through a transmutation block. So things have just started to get intense. And I've got a sudden issue with my shoulder. There's some pain whenever I press. I really can't do much log work or axle work. Overhead pressing is pretty much out. I suspect that it's something to do with a rotator cuff, probably tendon. I don't have a diagnosis yet. I'm probably going to go and get an MRI. So the question is, what would I do here? What should I do? Should I push through, get a diagnosis, maybe get a shot of cortisone so that I can finish the training block and compete? Or should I back off and just focus on rehabbing that shoulder and not worry about the competition? Well, what glory is there in the competition? It's a local comp. There's a trophy. There's my ego. But really, what does a local comp bring me? Well, the big thing that the whole competition cycle has for me, and I think for most of us, is an improved quality of life is the big reward. So, for me, at least, I don't think it's worth risking to any great degree that improved quality of life for any amorphous, unable to be stated, illusory reward that doesn't really exist, because the reward is just that quality of life. So why would I risk that quality of life, trying to complete a competition and risk that injury? So what I should do is just back off on my training and on the shoulder stuff, accept the fact that, okay, I'll scratch on the shoulder-oriented events, but I'll focus on doing better on carry loads, deadlift, things like that, and do what I can do. And then, maybe in 6 months or maybe next year, my shoulder will be healthy and I'll be able to do better, as opposed to injuring the shoulder further and possibly injuring the shoulder more permanently and not being able to have that quality of life. Now, obviously, there's exceptions to that. If you're, you know, a USAPL/IPF powerlifter, and you're looking at competing in a meet that qualifies you to go to the World Games, or you're getting ready to go to the World Games, you're 6 weeks out and you get a minor hamstring tweak, it's a different calculation to go through. Absolutely, no argument. But if all that's on the line is a plastic trophy, I don't get it. So the big question is, what would you do? It's a highly personal question. We should think about that as part of being a student of the sport. Thanks for watching, and remember, evolution matters. Train like an animal, think like a human.